Ooh, how am I going to start this? What's up, everyone? This is One More Ride, at least for the time being, unless we change the name of it. But we do actually have a name for this show, which is the follow-up show to the podcast between myself, mostly Coasters, and my co-host...
Parks Bros, Drew, that's me. Woo!
Wazoo. Yep. So this is a little follow-up show in relation to what we were talking about over on Drew's channel. Go ahead and check that out if you haven't.
A postcast, if you will.
A what?
A postcast.
Yeah. You're a little quiet. I'm gonna turn you up in my headphones.
Oh, I'm really quiet. I'm sorry. I appreciate
no,
it.
just on my end. I must have twisted some knobs and whatnot.
Ooh.
Yeah, so for this, for that main thing, we were asking what we should name the podcast because as of now we still don't know. But for this, we're going to be taking just some of your questions. We're going to do a little Q&A and also whatever the heck else we feel like talking about, branching from those Q&A questions. So Drew, if you have your questions that your people asked you, why don't you go ahead and pull them up and start shooting.
So, these questions we're taking on my Instagram. So if you haven't yet, follow my Instagram at Parks Bros. First question though. First coaster that got you into coasters?
Ooh, I like that one.
Am I answering first?
Oh, are you asking me?
Do you want to?
I was like, Drew has the floor now.
Well, how about this? I'll ask you the questions, you answer, and then I'll answer.
Okay.
That works for me at least.
I wonder, I know you've told me your answer before, but I wonder if we probably have similar answers. Mine, I don't know if I could give a definitive answer one way or the other, but it without a doubt has to be something at Disneyland because that is the first park that I have memories of visiting. I had season passes. My family had season passes. I didn't have multiple season passes. That would be excessive and financially irresponsible. And potentially impossible as well. We all had season passes to Disneyland. DCA wasn't even open yet. So I would probably have to say Thunder Mountain. What?
You're so old.
I know. I'm a bit of a boomer over here. I was like 3 or something. I just have a really good memory. I remember being 3.
Yeah?
I probably remember like from when I was 2, honestly. Like Disney was like the bee's knees, as the kids say, when I was a kid. It could have been Space Mountain. I barely remember the pre-retract Space Mountain. Because that did go down for refurbishment when I was like 2 or 3. I'd have to say Thunder Mountain, man, because it was like it was the most coastery coaster I'd ever been on up to that point. If that makes any sense. Matterhorn's dope. I like it better now, but there was just mad coaster vibes on Thunder, and I couldn't get enough of it. And from then on, I just wanted to go on bigger and better and scarier rides, man. How about you?
I mean, probably Thunder Mountain too, to be honest. It like started it all. Yeah,
I knew it. Because it's so accessible, man. And fun.
Yeah, no, literally anybody could ride it.
Exactly.
You could be 2.5 and riding it. Thunder Mountain for sure was like the first ride that I would marathon over and over again. Eventually, I used to go to DCA a lot more because it was a lot quieter, and I used to marathon Mulholland Madness before it turned into Goofy Sky School. That was like my favorite coaster at the time.
That's totally fair, man.
But like
best Wild Mouse for sure, but not anymore.
After like the family coasters that I had been on, I was kind of scared to move on up until I was well into my teens. And the first one that really made me think about becoming like a full-on enthusiast was definitely Twisted Colossus, although X2 and Tatsu really kind of just made everything so easy to ride, because after those you can pretty much ride anything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But then Twisted Colossus was like the first crazy ride where I was like, whoa, this is something I need to do more. So, I mean, Thunder Mountain, Twisted Colossus, even Mulholland Madness X2, those are definitely the big ones. For sure, Thunder Mountain, though, and Twisted.
I would say probably Twisted is what launched me into like being an enthusiast, quote unquote, for sure. But I feel like I've had like an undying love for coasters ever since I was a little kid that just got, elevated to more of an obsession over the last few years.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, California Screamin' is definitely what like made me realize I love big boy roller coasters.
We'll probably get to that in a little bit, actually, with some of these questions.
Okay. What's up next?
What is your favorite theme park, and which ride is your favorite?
At that theme park, I'm assuming is what they mean.
Potentially.
That's how I'm going to interpret it.
That's fine.
This is probably recency bias for both answers, both questions. And this is really hard for me to answer because I feel like this park is joined with its sister park, and like that kind of influences the overall experience of the resort. But Islands of Adventure is probably my favorite theme park. It just has all the theming that you could ever want. It's so well done. It has great dark rides. It has great screen-based attractions. The implementation of screens in their attractions is better than any other park that I've been to. And they also have fantastic thrill coasters. My favorite of which being Velocicoaster. So I think they have the family rides, they have the thrilling dark rides, and then they have the major coasters for the adrenaline junkies, if you will. Yeah, it's like a big boy Disneyland in my mind. How about you? I feel like I know your answer, but like you might as well say it anyway.
All right, I'm going to have to stop because my battery's dying, so give me a moment.
No, bye guys. Drew's back, everybody.
I'm back. Clap. Okay, what was the question?
You should know, you're the one that asked it.
Favorite theme park and favorite ride there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me move my camera a little bit. Oh, it's my hand. Favorite theme park for sure. Disneyland. I gotta say that. I don't know if it's just because I grew up there. Shut up. You're such a jerk. But I feel like it's just because I grew up there. Also in terms of like theming, they've always been top notch. My favorite ride there, I do think the best ride I've been on there is Rise of the Resistance. Easy. I don't want to spoil anything. Personally, though, like after visiting again, after not being there for a year, the only ride that made me cry was Indiana Jones. So I feel like Indiana Jones. Yeah, it's definitely it's like the Millennium Force of Disneyland. It's not the best ride at the park, but it's definitely my favorite, at least in my heart. So yeah, Indiana Jones for sure.
Nice. So I feel like probably for both of us, a close runner-up is Knott's Berry Farm, right?
Well, I mean, Knott's has kind of like become my favorite in my heart too. It's one of those.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the best park I've ever been to, but like I could spend every day there and be completely content. So
it's kind of like Islands of Adventure in the fact that you have some theming, but you also have some like really thrilling attractions as well. It's obviously not the best as far as theming goes, but it's just like it just gives you like a warm feel in being there, kind of honestly. Just a vibe, it's if you will. It's
a super homey feeling park.
Yeah.
And I've only really gotten that at Knott's and Silver Dollar City. Those are the only. Oh, excuse me. Those are the only
all
two.
Choked up about it.
Yeah, I know. But those are the only parks I've really felt like at home with being there. Don't get me wrong. I feel like Disneyland is my second home at times, but it's not like I'm actually home. If that.
Well,
makes
it's
sense.
honestly like a little like no offense to Disney, but it's almost like a little too commercial to a certain extent to just feel like you're just there having a nice time.
It's definitely getting,
in my opinion,
that way. At least within the past 5 years or so, that's when it definitely started to feel more
and a little like touristy as well. So like two things like that's not really something that they can control or should. I mean, it's a good thing they should have tourists. It's just I don't know. It's Knott's just has more of like a laid back vibe to it. I think is really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Next question: what was your first coaster?
I have asked my parents multiple times, and the best answer that I can come up with, and I don't know if I may have changed what I consider to be my first coaster recently, but I'm pretty sure it is a freeway coaster at Adventure City. Speaking of Knott's Berry Farm, right across the street. My sister had a birthday party there or something like that, and I was a very, very young baby and may or may not have ridden it.
I can imagine. I can imagine like a fat baby version of you
quite the
riding
fat baby, man.
Riding freeway coaster with a beard and all.
I'm pulling it up right now because let me see. Oh, and if not that, definitely my second or first is Dragon at Legoland.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God, that would have been the right answer for the first question. I rode that thing like 30 times on a rainy day where there was no line. We didn't have to get off. That's definitely the first coaster I ever marathoned.
Oh yeah, Coastersaurus. Actually, speaking of which, Coastersaurus was another one of those for me. At Legoland, I used to ride that all the time. I don't think so, but it's was my favorite.
We were little babies.
My first was either Timberline Twister, Gadget's Go Coaster, or Coastersaurus, but it was most likely one of the first two. It might have even been Thunder Mountain. I don't know. I really do think though it was Timberline Twister.
Well. Yeah.
When I was like a baby. But yeah.
I'll say Dragon. I have no problem making that my first. It's just a good coaster, man. Like
no, it's great. With the dark ride portion.
Stuff. Yeah, I love it. It's a good one.
That Dragon is still impressive to this day. Like, so good. Yeah. Next question. Why do you guys think Twisted Colossus is a top tier RMC?
Wow, presumptuous, are we?
A little bit, but that's
assuming that we do. I mean, I think we both do, right?
Well, out of all of the RMCs I've been on, I guess it's.
Let me pull up my spreadsheet.
I don't even know if it's a top tier RMC in my list anymore.
That's what I have to look at too. It's kind of weird. Like I've said this before. It's kind of weird when you talk about like top tier RMC or not, because the worst RMC I've been on is still like top 5% of coasters I've ever been on,
easily
at least. So it's like it's semantics, honestly.
Like let me check. The bottom RMC I've been on, at least on my list, is still in my top 15. Like, come on, they're all so good.
Gotta pull up my nerdy.
I mean, they make up more than half of my top 10. So
I'm not sure if that's the case for me, but it's I mean,
you've also been on twice as many coasters too. So,
the worst ranked RMC I've been on is number 18, putting it in the top 10% of coasters I've been on still.
But what was that at 18? Oh wait, we don't want to spoil that because never mind.
Yeah, probably not. I guess. Twisted. Yeah, I guess it's top tier, but it's like we've both still. There's only a handful of RMCs out there, right? So when it's not like B&M or like Arrows or like rides that you've been on like 10 or 20 or more. You know, it's like I've only been on like it looks like I don't know like 9-ish RMCs. So it's like what is top tier?
And I've been on. I mean,
it's either number one. It's either the best, second best, or second worst or worst. You know what I mean? And it's like everything in the middle is still just an elite coaster. So I don't know.
I think Twisted Colossus is at least a top tier ride.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk
it's
about
fantastic.
Why that is.
Well, the airtime and the dueling sometimes. The inversions are also great. The laterals are pretty good too. I mean. There's not really anything to dislike about the ride beside maybe going up that second lift without anybody dueling you.
Yeah, I'm gonna because 90% of the rides that I've been on, if not more, have been non-dueling. So when I think about ranking and just anything about Twisted Colossus, I don't really take dueling into consideration. It's obviously phenomenal when it does. I mean, the way that it works out with both trains just constantly going back and forth, like who's ahead, and then obviously just the interactions, phenomenal.
That
really cool. Aside, I mean, it's mostly the airtime, but it also has a really great pacing when you take out the second lift hill, obviously. But I mean, every element just flows perfectly into the next. You're constantly getting tossed around, and it's because it's not even just about the airtime. Because there's plenty of rides that have just airtime, but it's chaotic, and that's what I really like in a roller coaster. So yeah, that's why.
Especially that double down. Oof.
I don't like the double down. I don't like.
I know it's chaotic though. It hurts your sides.
Yeah. That's probably the only element on the ride that I don't like, because that's the only part where it feels kind of weird pacing. It's like, oh, we're going down a drop. Oh, then we stopped, and then we're going down another drop.
Next question,
other than that, perfect though. Yeah. Next question.
Favorite moment on X2. I think this one could be a rapid fire. Honestly,
that's a good one, man. Because there's only a few elements, but they're all crazy.
There's literally like 7.
Did I say there's a lot?
No, there's not really many. Yeah, no, you're saying
I meant to say there's
lot.
not a lot. Okay, good. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure I didn't say there's a lot of.
Yeah, no, there's literally like 7 elements on the ride.
They're all. I mean, they're all fantastic in their own right. Honestly, right?
Yeah. Well, except for maybe the turnaround, I guess, but that's just necessary.
What turn? Like at the beginning of the ride?
No. Like halfway through when you're turning around, literally like just doing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess that's probably like the worst.
Yeah,
but it's still good.
It's a good break from being thrown everywhere.
It's hard to beat that. It's a necessary break. It's hard to beat the first drop, man. It also depends where you're sitting. Some of the elements are better depending on where you're sitting.
Definitely.
As for any coaster, pretty much, but the drop is a banger in the front or the back, honestly.
Yeah.
Front, you get that view dangling and nothing in front of you and going straight down, and the back, the way you get yanked over is just
so good,
insane.
I think
the first Raven turn, man, the hang time you get on it, like face down hang time, really.
Well,
funky.
that's better first row.
Yeah.
And then the second Raven turn, I would say rivals the first drop, at least for me, when you're in the back row. Front row, not so much. But back row, you're pulling crazy G's. Like, it's insane. But yeah, and I think best overall for me, I would say is probably still the drop. Although if I'm in back row, that second Raven turn, ooh.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and say the drop too. But there's also even just like the hill after the first Raven turn where your seat is flipping, but you're just going forward. That is an experience
that's pretty
that you
cool.
literally cannot find on any other roller coaster aside from the 2 other similar models.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first drop. I'll go with first drop. Final
first
answer.
Drop.
Yeah.
Next question. If this is a question, I don't know. It says Ooga Booga X2 Pog.
Yeah, I think we just covered that.
Yeah, I think so too. Ooga Booga. The next one is, I think, a name suggestion. It says the final brake run.
I mean, yeah, that's actually not that bad. I know you said that one earlier. Yeah.
Did I?
I think so.
Maybe I did, but that would not be a bad name for either of these.
That's not bad. Yeah, I mean, definitely for the wrap up, for sure.
Yeah.
If you want us to just talk about final brake runs, I mean, they're a necessary part of not dying on roller coasters, so they're good.
Mm-hmm. Will you both come on my show? Yes, we will, Mr. Ambassador. We will totally come on your show.
Totally.
Make sure to go follow him on Instagram and stay tuned for updates on that. Now,
there's my knee again.
Ooh.
Don't get too excited.
Going over to Airtime Mike, by the way, shout out Mike. Mike's awesome. Go follow him on Instagram. What is the best coaster picture you have ever taken?
Oh, that's a fun one.
Do you I don't know if
that comes to mind?
I can't think of one off my head, but in post, it's this one. I really, really dig this one. I think this one's really great.
I don't know what it is.
It's fine. I'll just put it in post. Send me your favorite. Golden Hour, and it looks really pretty. That's probably the case.
I'm trying to think. I have a few. I mean, I really have a soft spot for hang time. Like I kind of started my Instagram because of hang time.
Riddler's Revenge for me.
Drew's channel started popping off because of hang time too. So I mean, I think we both have like a media soft spot for hang time. I'm scrolling through right now. There's a couple that I really love of hang time's drops that were some of the first like actually decent pictures I've ever taken.
I've got a good one of Maverick that I still really like. I've got a lot of Emperor shots that I love, but that was on a construction tour, so I can't get those shots again. Yeah,
I'm gonna say like Hang Time's drop is always gorgeous, and then I have a picture of Medusa that I love because I love Medusa in that park. And then Joker has a cool one. So I'll say Hang
Joker's
Time.
great.
Sure. We'll put them all in. We'll put them in
I
post.
just haven't filmed it. So that actually, I believe, does it for my Insta. Oh wait, no, we have the one Goliath question.
Right.
California's only hypercoaster Goliath seems to have mixed opinions. How would you improve it? I'd probably just put one airtime hill, one more. That's it. Honestly, and it's already a great ride to me personally. I think it's awesome. It does everything that it shows that it will, and it does it even better than you'd think. So that's the only thing I can think of is putting just one more airtime hill.
They did improve it, and it's called Titan.
I guess that's fair, actually. Yeah.
But yeah, I think an extra airtime hill would be nice. The airtime hill that it does have is criminally underrated, in my opinion. It's fantastic floater traveling at such a fast speed. It feels like the fastest airtime hill I've ever experienced, even though it probably is not. It just could be. It would be a little more varied if it just had another airtime hill. But like Drew said, it does what you expect it to. People hate on it, but it's like, I mean, what did you expect? You expected airtime on this twister coaster, what's wrong with you?
Next question. Going over to YouTube now. What's your most anticipated park that you want to visit in North America? I feel like we got to just start rapid going.
Yeah. Silver Dollar
We talk too much. Oh, Silver Dollar City? It's pretty good. I would say Animal Kingdom, if not Animal Kingdom, Islands of Adventure, Dollywood, or Hershey Park. Those are the top 4 for me.
Hershey Park 2 for me. Yeah, good.
Most aesthetically.
Excuse me, this is a family-friendly show here.
Most aesthetically pleasing coasters, top 3 or 5, perhaps.
Ooh, Hang Time again, dude.
Yeah.
Here, we'll go back and forth. Hang Time.
Riddler's Revenge.
Shoot, you're right. I'm looking at pictures again now.
Gatekeeper.
Gatekeeper. Pretty much anything in Cedar Point, let's be honest.
Ooh,
Iron Rattler. But it's kind of like a backdrop coaster. It's not like in your face. Steel Eel looks sexy with the purple and yellow.
Yeah, I love that paint job.
Yeah. Well, that's all of them then. That's good enough.
Accelerator.
I'm sure there's some. There's probably some really good. Ooh, SheiKra looks gorgeous looking over the lake. Oh
yeah.
There's probably some other really fantastic ones that we're just completely forgetting. But yeah. Hang Time is it for me. I love it.
What do you want to see in a SeaWorld San Diego expansion?
I'll leave that to you. I've been to that park once as a little baby.
Oh, that's true. You haven't even been.
Baby. Like I had to be hold in the hand, baby.
I would love to see either a B&M Wing or more specifically a Gravity Group wooden coaster, like a family coaster. I feel like that would be the best coaster for the park. And outside of that, I would love to see more of an attention toward maybe a new exhibit or something along those lines, or redoing some of their older exhibits. Those are the only things I can really think of personally.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen and what I've heard, that sounds good to me. How many more questions do you have? Because I have like none.
I just have Discord now.
Oh, okay, for sure.
Which there was literally no questions.
So what do you mean you still have Discord? So we're practically done, is what you're saying?
Yeah, no, I don't see any more questions actually from my end. Do you have anything from you?
Oh, that was good. Take a little break to just to go straight into the the first thing that's a question is someone just apparently doesn't like the fact that we're doing a podcast and responded with this emoji.
What emoji is that?
It's like the one where the mouth is just a straight line, but it's not like the straight line for eyes. It's mouth straight line and regular open eyes. Just
like expressionless.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, probably.
I use it a lot.
Yeah.
So
there's that. So sorry that we're doing this. Sorry to offend you by our existence. Your mom, again, there's another one.
Ooh.
come on my show. I'm sure you can guess who who submitted that one. And we do want to. The Ambassador ERT on Instagram, folks. And then top bucket list coasters / parks. We already did parks, so you got any top bucket list coasters out there?
Voyage I-305.
Yeah, those are definitely at the top of mine. In addition to that, probably Toro. I hear it tries to rip your legs off, and that sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
To go back to X2, the Asian fourth dimension coasters, Ijanika
or Dynaconda, either of them.
Both, yes, either of them.
Okay.
I mean, I'm all about that absolutely chaotic, brutal experience. Sign me up.
I would definitely add in Lightning Rod now after experiencing Outlaw Run. I know most of the track is steel, but still, like,
I'm not like itching to get on that for whatever reason, man.
I wish after getting on Outlaw Run that I could have ridden Lightning Rod 2016 when it first opened.
The thing is too with that, it's just that's the main draw for me going to that park. And I just would be very, 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 very disappointed if it's not open, and the chances of that happening are just too high, you know?
That's fair.
I
mean? I mean, honestly, even without Outlaw at Silver Dollar City, just being there alone was totally worth the trip.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. I think it's different for Silver Dollar City, though.
I feel like Dollywood, though, you could still have that type of experience. I know it's not nearly as top-notch, if you will, in terms of like setting potentially. I know that's kind of arguable, right. But I do know that I would still at least have a really good time in the area. Also, it's tourist trap beyond belief and in that area too. So we could always have fun doing those mountain coasters and whatnot. So
no, I agree. I don't know why though. I just feel like I'm more interested in the other coasters at Silver Dollar City than I would be in the
I still am
following lineup after Lightning Run at Dollywood.
Well, so, except for maybe Wild Eagle for me. I'm just curious to get on another wing coaster personally.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
but I think Silver Dollar City just has the more exciting B list lineup, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, that's totally understandable after visiting. Holy cow! Oh, literally one of the best coaster lineups I've ever experienced, and I've been to Magic Mountain and Cedar Point, and yeah. Oh, ooh, not a bad ride at that park. Not a bad ride at all.
Speaking of bad rides, this one's coming to an end.
Oh,
that's a degrading transition. Yeah. Yeah, that's it, folks. Go ahead and subscribe to Drew's channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to our Instagrams. That's not how it works. Follow our Instagrams if you liked any of those pictures. Got any last words, my dude?
If you haven't yet, if you're just watching this video, make sure to go check out our actual podcast. I know this is going for almost as long, but go check out our actual podcast. We don't have a name for it yet. Leave your suggestions down in the comments below. And outside of that, that's really all I've got.
I don't think we went for as long. You were gone for like a good 10 minutes. So.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. And soup. If you know, you know. You know?
Soup.